This training will focus on the operation of the Pierce Husky 12 proportioning system. It is intended to serve as a guide for qualified operators. The primary focus will be on the operation of the control head. The control head directs a microprocessor which receives input from the system's water flow meter while monitoring the position of the foam concentrate pump. The microprocessor compares the water flow values with the position and rate of the foam pump to ensure the proportion rate is correct. The foam system's control head contains the programming to actuate the appropriate valves, direct the hydraulic fluid, and control the injection rate of the foam. All components plug into this module and control the system. The operator works with the foam system through this display module. The Husky 12 control head is located on the main pump panel. It has 6 operating buttons: System On-Off, Page, Foam Prime, Enter, Arrow Up, and Arrow Down. The display is a 4.3-inch color LCD screen. System power is indicated by a green LED in the upper left corner. A green LED in the upper right corner signals that the foam pump is operating. The foam system can be turned on or off from most any screen. You don't have to be at the home screen. Information displayed on the LCD includes the mode of operation and various setup screens. If the foam system is turned off, the display functions as a flow meter. The percent of injection is preset for Class A and Class B foam. The percentages can be changed by a fire department and can be easily modified at the scene of a fire to adjust for changing demands. To use Class A foam from the onboard foam tank, begin by engaging water pump transmission and recirculating the water. Turn the system on. Note that the default foam valve will open automatically, typically Class A at 0.3 to 0.5%. If water flow drops below 20 GPM, the foam system will go into standby until the water flow is increased to 20 GPM or above. At the toggle point, between 19 and 20 GPM, the system will want to go on and off standby. Maintaining water flow above 20 GPM will prevent this. Now, begin flowing the water. The foam pump will activate. Use the green arrow buttons to adjust the percentage if necessary. When beginning the mop-up phase, turn the system off and use the foam in the hose. Note that the only flush needed is to run the hose until it is mostly free of bubbles. The foam pump is designed to be flooded with foam. To draft Class A foam, set up the drafting operation by positioning the foam and hooking up the pickup hose. On the control head, press the Page button to display the Mode Select screen. Then press Enter to display the foam source screen. Press Enter again to choose Draft Mode Class A Foam. The onboard tank valves will close, causing suction to draw from the foam inlet. The default percentage will remain the same as the onboard Class A tank current setting. Use the green arrow buttons to change percentages if necessary. When switching to Class B foam from the onboard tank, use caution. During the automatic flush, water must be flowing through an open foam discharge to give the flush solution somewhere to go. Note that this operation is only possible when the Class B foam tank is installed and enabled. To begin, press the Page button to display the Mode Select screen. Choose Select Foam Source and press Enter. Use the arrow buttons to find Class B, which in this case is in Tank 2. Press Enter. A warning screen will appear to remind the operator that the foam type is changing and a flush is required. Press Enter to continue. The Class A foam valve will close and an automatic flush will occur prior to the Class B valve opening, provided the water flow meter senses water flow. After the flush, use the arrow buttons to change percentages if necessary. You are now ready to use the Class B foam from the onboard tank. To draft Class B foam, set up the drafting operation by positioning the foam and hooking up the pickup hose. On the control head, press the Page button to display the Mode Select screen. Then press Enter to display the Select Foam Source screen. Use the arrow buttons to find Draft Mode Class B. Press Enter. A warning screen will appear, noting the change in foam class. Press Enter to continue. The Class A foam valve will close. An automatic flush will occur prior to the Class B valve opening, provided the water flow meter senses water flow. The default percentage will remain the same as the onboard Class B tank current setting. Use the arrow buttons to change percentages if needed. You are now ready to draft Class B foam. Follow these steps when choosing a foam source. Press the Page button to go to the Mode Select screen. Use the arrow buttons to highlight Select Foam Source from the menu. Press Enter. Note that if you highlight the currently used foam type, such as Draft Mode Class A, and press Enter, you will be transferred back to the home screen with that source enabled. If you highlight an alternate class of foam, such as Tank 2 Class B, and press Enter, a new screen will be displayed, giving the user a second chance to continue with the new class of foam or revert back to the previous class of foam being used. Whenever there is a change in foam class, the system will automatically flush the pump with water to prevent mixing of foam types in the pump. To complete your selection, use the arrow buttons to highlight the desired foam source and press Enter. Flushing the system. Note that for the purposes of this training, it is assumed that Class A foam is the most commonly used agent and that the system will be stored wet with Class A foam concentrate. If Class A foam is not the primary agent, adjust procedures to accommodate the primary foam concentrate. Typically, no flush is needed. The Husky 12 foam pump is designed to be flooded with foam. Unless the optional Class B foam tank was used, a different brand of Class A foam was drafted, or Class B foam was drafted, the only system flush that is needed is to turn the system off and continue flowing water until the presence of bubbles is minimal. When beginning mop-up operations at the scene, turn the system off and use the foam in the hose for mop-up. When equipped with two onboard foam tanks, Class A and Class B, an automatic flush will occur for 10 to 15 seconds when switching between the two tanks. A foam discharge must be opened during the automatic flush to give the flush solution somewhere to go. This automatic flush time can be adjusted in the setup mode. Refer to Set Automatic Flush Time for instructions. In addition to the automatic flush, it is recommended to perform a manual flush to ensure the system is completely free of contaminants. Manual flush. Note that the manual flush mode is only used when additional flush time is desired, such as after switching between types or brands of foam. The manual flush mode can be enabled without first turning off the system. From the normal run screen, press Page to go to the Mode Select screen. Use the arrow buttons to find the option called Flush, Fill, Drain. Press Enter. The flush line will be highlighted on the new screen. Press Enter to enable control of the manual flush. The highlighted area will begin to flash on and off to indicate that you may use the arrow buttons to turn on the manual flush. Caution: you must have the water pump engaged and water flowing for the flush to begin. If you do not have water flowing, a message will appear in the yellow warning bar on the display telling you that water flow is needed. If water is flowing, the screen will go to the System Flush Time screen and count down the preset seconds for the flush. At the end of the flush, you will be returned to the normal run mode screen. Priming the system. The prime mode is used to accelerate the foam pump for a short period of time, such as to purge air out of onboard tank lines after the initial filling or to fill the suction hose while drafting. Begin by selecting the foam source. Caution: water must be flowing through an open foam discharge or an open foam pump discharge drain to give the foam solution somewhere to go. Now, open the foam pump discharge drain. Press the Foam Prime button. Release the button when foam is discharged out of the manifold drain. When filling the foam tank using the dome method, use caution. Do not mix different types or manufacturers' brands of foam concentrate in the foam cells or piping. Mixing different foam concentrates may cause deterioration of the foam concentrate, improper proportioning, and poor performance in a fire situation. Specifically, mixing Class A and Class B foam concentrates may result in a chemical reaction that can create globules that have the potential to clog orifices and cause system failure. Be sure to locate and close all foam tank and manifold drains. They may be found on or behind the driver and passenger side pump panels. When filling the foam concentrate during a non-fire situation, the following procedure is recommended. The vehicle should be parked on a level surface or with the expansion dome of the tank slightly inclined. If filling from a pressurized source through the expansion dome hatch, the hose should be extended to the bottom of the tank to minimize frothing of the foam concentrate. If foam concentrate must be added by pouring through the expansion dome hatch, it must be done slowly to prevent aeration. If aeration occurs inside the tank, stop pouring until the foam concentrate bubbles dissolve. Take care not to allow dirt or debris to enter the tank. Pour the foam concentrate down the center of the round tube when filling the tank. This tube goes into the tank and allows the foam concentrate to enter under the surface of the foam currently in the tank to reduce aeration of the foam per NFPA. When filling the foam tank using the pickup hose method, engage the water pump to activate the hydraulics and recirculate the water. Attach the hose to the foam pump inlet. Place the hose in the container filled with foam concentrate. From the normal run screen, press Page to get to the Mode Select screen. Use the arrow buttons to find the option called Flush, Fill, Drain. Press Enter. Use the arrow buttons to locate the tank to be filled with foam concentrate. Press the Enter button once to enable control of the manual fill. The words On/Off will begin to flash, indicating that you may use the arrow buttons to turn on the manual fill. Caution: you must have the foam selector valve in the correct position for filling. If you do not, a message in red will appear reading, Tank valve not closed. The valve must be in the up, vertical position to fill the tank. The tank will fill until the full level is reached. When finished, remove the pickup hose from the foam pump inlet. Using manual mode. This mode of operation is the NFPA required manual override. This mode is used to activate the foam pump without the flow meter operating. Warning: in this mode, the foam pump will run regardless of water flow. If discharges are closed, these lines may be charged to over 300 psi. At least one discharge must be opened before entering this mode. No interlocks, controls, or specific steps are required in the manual mode. Use additional caution when operating in this mode to avoid injury or damage to equipment. To use the manual mode, follow these steps. From the normal run screen, press the Page button to go to the Mode Select screen. Use the arrow buttons to locate Manual Water Flow. Press Enter. A warning screen will appear telling you that you are about to enter the manual water flow mode. If you select the Page button, you will return to the previous auto water flow mode. If you press Enter, you will continue with a manual operation. An alternate method would be to set the GPM to a fixed rate and adjust the percentage of foam. You have completed this training on Husky 12 operation.